Hello students, in this video let's continue the chapter The Town by the Sea. The road wound through a dense tropical jungle. It was clear that the island's interior was sparsely inhabited, with the population being concentrated along the seafront. I saw to my surprise that many thick strands of coconut palms were still standing even on the edge of the water. As for the forest, the canopy seemed almost undisturbed. All trace of habitation, on the other hand, had been obliterated. It was evident that the tsunami had been peculiarly selective in the manner of its destruction. It had caused maximum possible damage to life and property and had left nature largely unharmed. So when the author, so he is Amitav Ghosh, no? So he was traveling along with the director. So when he was traveling, he found that the road was going through a dense tropical jungle. Okay, the road was just covered by the trees, like a forest. So the population, the people are majorly living along the seafront, that is out of the jungle. Okay, and inside that is interior of the island, it is fully covered with trees and no people were living there. And he also saw that the coconut palm, that is the coconut tree and all, were standing still. They are not affected by tsunami, but the people's habitations, that is people living place, that was only completely vanished. So he is telling the tsunami was very selective in the destruction. The nature was undisturbed, unharmed, but the life and property of people was completely vanished. Okay, so he is observing such phenomenon there. We came to the district library. It was unharmed like the surrounding offices. There was a medical camp. The director spotted a doctor and inquired him about his family. The doctor said, "No news has reached me. I have not heard anything." So they all went to the library, and there was a medical camp in there, and a doctor was there. So to him, the director inquired any news about his family. So he said he didn't get any news about his family. So now also the director didn't get any information about his daughter or wife. We continued on our way. The director hurried to a spot where there was a mound of household objects and showed me his aristocrat suitcase, a steel trunk, a cabinet, records of his office and slides. He took his slides. He continued, and after seeing the glimpse of the seafront, the director came to the point where his house had once stood. He said, "This was my house." So after that, they went to the place where their house was there. Okay, so he went and searched for his household items. So he saw his aristocrat suitcase. Okay, it's a brand of suitcase. Then steel trunk. Okay, that also it's like a big storage box only. Okay, a cabinet, records of his office, and slides. So what and all he prepared for the purpose. So that and all he took in his hands. Then he see the seafront also. So glimpse means just a small look he gave to the seafront, and he showed the place where his house was there once. Only the foundation was concrete, the rest was wood. My wife used to teach English in a school here, but she wanted to leave. I applied many times, but the transfer never came. There was so much she could have achieved. I was never able to give her the opportunity. So now he is telling about his house and wife. So his foundation alone was concrete, okay, with the cement and with steel rod they will make, no. So that was only in the foundation. In the basement alone it was there, and rest all structure was built with wood. Okay, and his wife was a teacher, English teacher she was, and she wanted to leave that job and she wanted to try something else. But the director, he couldn't get any transfer. Okay, so because of that they were staying there and she was not able to get any other opportunity. When I reached out to touch his arm, he shook my hand brusquely away. He did not want sympathy from others. He showed his daughter Vincetta's paint box but did not pick it up. When I asked him why he did not pick it up, he said, "What good will it do? What will it give back?" Okay, so he want to console the author. He want to console the director. So he want to touch the arm of the director, but the director immediately, very quickly, he just shook his hand. Okay, that too in a very impolite manner. So he don't want anybody's sympathy. So immediately he shook his hand, and he didn't pick his daughter's paint box. Okay, so he asked him why you didn't pick the paint box, but he said, "What good will it do? What will it give back?" So it is of no use, no. So if we take the paint box also, is it going to give him any good? Will it going to give him his daughter back? No. So that's why he is not picking it up. As a husband, a father, a human being, it was impossible for me not to wonder, what would I have done? What would I have felt? What would I have chosen to keep of the past? The truth is that nobody can know. It is an expression of the innermost sovereignty of the self, because nothing now remains to cloud its vision. In the manner of his choosing, there was not a particle of hesitation or the faintest glimmer of doubt. Perhaps he must have found some comfort in the knowledge of an impersonal effort. So now the author, he is wondering, as a husband, as a father, as a human being, he was wondering about the director. If he is in that situation, how he would have reacted, how he would have felt, okay, what he would have done. So what he would have chosen to get rid of the past feeling. Okay, so he is having all such questions in his mind. The truth is that nobody can know. So this we can't imagine. So we cannot imagine in such a position. Okay, so it is an expression of innermost sovereignty of self, because nothing now remains to its cloud, its vision. Okay, so nothing is going to be seen. Okay, sovereignty means complete freedom or power to act. Okay, so now he is having, so the director, he found the way to get rid of this past feeling is to search knowledge in an impersonal effort. So in his work he is going to concentrate. He is not going to keep on think about his family. He is not going to cry out for his loss. He is going to search the knowledge in the impersonal effort. So in his work he is going to concentrate. Sometimes words seem futile, and at these moments it seems nothing is of value other than to act and intervene in the course of events. Even thinking, reflecting and writing about it seems trivial and wasteful. And after the day had passed, I understood that in the manner of choosing, the director had mounted the most singular, the most powerful defense of it that I would ever witness. So here what he is telling, words seem futile. Futile means useless. So instead of lamenting about the past, if he is going to tell about his wife, daughter, if he is going to lament about them, it is of waste. Okay, so nothing is going to give him any good. So he want to come out of that. Okay, so he don't want to think about it or write about it. So whatever, if he write about the past or think about the past, it is of waste. Okay, so he understood the manner how the director have chosen. Okay, he have chosen to defend. Okay, defense means to protect himself in the way of concentrating something better. Okay, instead of going to the past and thinking about the past, he is choosing something which he want to do it in the future. So the author he witnessed. Okay, so he can never see such person. So he saw such a person. So about him he have written in this lesson. Okay, I hope you understood this chapter. So you children read the lesson. Okay, so read the lesson and glossary. Thank you.